What is up, my thrifty friends? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess Shop. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, I'm a Canadian reseller. I'm a mom to 2 girls, a wife. I work part-time in a hospital pharmacy, and I love to sell used clothing. So here is my little space where I share everything about my business. And today's video is a work with me. If you're new to these, this is the logo you're looking for. I pop it up in the thumbnail. And basically, I'm gonna chat with you. I'm gonna give you the latest news, what's going on in the reselling world. Pretty heavy on the Poshmark side because that's my main platform, but really I'm gonna be covering everything and anything. So if you are into this content, make sure you give me a thumbs up and let me know. And also tap subscribe. All right, let's jump right into this. First off, we're gonna do a life and business update. Life update. Happy New Year. We are into 2023 and I kind of took a break from these videos just for the last 2 weeks. We were gone to the mountains. We went to Winnipeg for a couple days, got some time with my family. Then we went out to the mountains and just did some snowboarding, lots of outdoor stuff, just good quality family time. I feel like I just needed a break from everything. I wasn't doing a whole pile of reseller stuff. I did do some stuff on New Year's Eve, but generally I was just kind of enjoying the time with my kids and Jeff, obviously. So yeah, Lena did do some shipping for me when she came home. So she came home midway through the week because she wanted to go out with her friends on New Year's Eve. And yeah, she was able to ship out some stuff. So that was good. I feel very rejuvenated. I am ready. I set goals. If you haven't watched the goal setting video, I'm going to pop it up here. Make sure you check it out because this will help you set your goals for 2023. I am laser focused in 2023. I know what I want. I know how to get there. It's just going to be checking off the boxes right now, like, you know, meeting my weekly and daily goals to help reach my monthly and then yearly goals. I am all about goal setting, especially in January, because it just sets the tone for the rest of the year. Now, work has been picking up. I'm still looking for 2 12-hour shifts a week. That's kind of my ideal. And then it gives me 3 days to do my reselling business and my YouTube and take my weekends off. So nothing is changing there. As for my business, things have been pretty good. I did my recap video. I'll pop that one up here as well. This is kind of my year recap on Poshmark. I think I was sitting around 43,000 gross sales. When I screenshot on New Year's Eve, I believe it was just over 46. So I was able to get another $3,000 in sales, which is awesome. Sales have been all over the place. I don't want to say sales have been great because some things have been really good and then some things have not. And the big thing why my sales jumped so much in the last 3 weeks or last 2 weeks was I did a couple live shows on New Year's Eve, and I will talk about those in the work with me. But yeah, I was able to bump that up, move a bunch of inventory, and I am ready for my business to grow in the new year. Like I'm down for this. I know what I have to do. Okay, so business update. Everything's going to be kind of going back into my processes. Today, I didn't go to work. I was just kind of catching up on all the shipping. I did have a bunch of stuff to ship out over the weekend. And then I wanted to record this video. So I will be hopefully going back to work tomorrow and maybe work like Tuesday, Wednesday, gives me Thursday, Friday to do my business stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm like ready for routine. You know, when you're gone for a certain amount of time, whether it's a week or 2 weeks, we were actually gone for 12 days. I just feel so ready to come back and get back into my routine. And basically my routine is going to work, doing my business, and yeah, I'm just ready. Okay, so that's like my life and business update. I don't have too much to say on that front just because we've been taking it easy, enjoying the holidays. Let's jump right into this work with me. I have some really good topics. So one is bundling for live shows. There was some discount shipping through Poshmark Canada, some crazy things that I've been seeing on the app, like abnormal activity. Naver buyout. We're going to touch base on that again because things are moving along. Is Poshmark an MLM? There's a topic there. I've actually seen quite a few comments with people saying that. We're going to cover the US Inform Law for eBay. There's some information about the IRS this year, and then just some general questions that I have seen. And then the last one is we're going to do something fun because I know there's so many new subscribers here. So we are going to do something fun at the end. All right, jumping into the first topic. So we chatted about Poshmark live sales having bundle shipping. It took Poshmark like 3 months to get this rolled out. When it did first roll out, I didn't have access to it. So the week that they rolled it out, I did do a live show on the Thursday, and I did not have access to bundle shipping, although I did hear some people had access, and it was a hot mess. So originally I had this as a topic to discuss just because I heard a lot of people were having issues, but since I took these notes, I think they have sorted out the hiccups. I did have a couple live shows on January 31st, and all of the bundling worked well. So I had no issues. But if you are still having issues, I would love to hear what's going on. Drop it in the comments, please. Let me know. But yeah, I have not, besides for when they were supposed to be bundling, I did not have access to it. And then the bundling that happened. So I know I talk about live shows and I'm like on the fence, and they definitely have an impact on my business. I noticed a lot of people were doing shows last week, and we were gone. We were away from home. I could not do a live show. All my inventory was obviously sitting here at my house. And I've kind of been like, what the heck are these silent shows like? I don't think so. But I wanted to kind of, I think, jump into the fun because I definitely get FOMO. And when I see other people are like doing well and having good success with the shows, I'm like, okay, maybe I should try it as well. So I originally thought I was going to do a silent show, and it wasn't. This for me was more of a closet clear out. I wanted to clear out a bunch of sweaters because I needed to free up room in my inventory room. And I thought if I could get a bunch of sales before the new year, I would have more room for like all these beautiful sweaters that I have to add. And then I thought, you know what, maybe I'll clear out like the bottom 1/3 of my closet. So over the course of December 31st, I think I auctioned off 70, 50, probably close to 150 items. And I did 3 separate shows. So the first show, I couldn't actually figure out how to turn off my volume. So I talked through it. I popped up the items. It was kind of run like a silent show. Like I would have to pop up the items, and I just kind of talked about them. I ran them on a 45-second timer. This gave everyone time to click on the listing, take a look at it. And I started, I think, almost all of the items at $5. Towards the end, I did put some of my newer stuff in, and the start bids were a little bit higher, but generally everything was a $5 start. So I did 50 items there. I had people that were commenting if I could run some more items and some larger size stuff. So I actually started another show 2 minutes later because I didn't know that you could delete items out of the show and then add new ones. But anyways, I will talk about that after. So I started a second show and just loaded like 8 or 10 items that I was willing to start at $5 and kind of clear out. And then I had some requests, added some more items in, ended that show. So I think in total, I probably auctioned off about 70 items between those 2 shows, which is pretty good. I cleared out a lot of inventory, things that I've had for a while. And I'm sure if I had sent like aggressive offers to likes, I probably could have got more money for them. But I was in the Christmas spirit, and anyone that was hopping in my show was getting deals. And if you were in those shows, you knew you were getting deals. Like, yeah, $5 starts. You won't see that often with my closet, and more just because my cost of goods is high. Fast forward to the evening, I saw someone else do another silent show, and she had muted her volume, and it was Maria. So I messaged her and I was like, hey, how did you mute it? She told me. I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I didn't figure that out. So I ran one more show that evening as a true like silent show. I wasn't talking. I muted the volume. I put my phone down in a blanket so that it was black, and I just ran, I think I ran probably 70 or more items in that show, because I loaded up 50, and then things that weren't selling, I would just swipe and delete out of the show. And then I hopped on my laptop and added more items. So basically I ran probably, yeah, the bottom 1/3 of my closet on New Year's Eve and pushed out a bunch of sales. It was pretty good. Like I can't complain. Actually, I'm gonna see if it'll show. I think the sales for last week ended up being around 18. Ooh, don't quote me. I looked at a lot of numbers in the last couple days. I think it was between 16 and 1800. And I think the gross sales from those 3 shows were about 1200, which was really good. But you have to keep in mind, I sold a lot of items. The average sale price was probably $7 an item. Lots of bundles. I did have a couple items that sold as singular items, so I would have to pay the higher commission rate. But majority of the items that sold into bundles, so I was able to only have to pay the 20% commission. But still, I don't think I actually net a whole pile of money out of that 1200, and that is just being completely transparent. But I got that inventory out of my closet. I don't have to take it to Plato's. I'm not donating it. It's gone to better homes and, you know, maybe resellers that can sell them better than I can. What sells for one person doesn't mean, or what doesn't sell for one person can sell for another. You guys know, like things that sell for me may not sell for you, things that sell for you may not sell for me. So yeah, I had to create a bunch of bundles because people had bought from multiple shows. So I would just create a listing and then add all their bundle items into one listing and then put the price into the listing. And then usually I just tag them into the comments, and when they purchase that, I will delete the other bundles. I did have 2 bundles that were overweight, and both of these bundles were actually like, I think 10 to 14 piece bundles, and they only cost me like an extra $2 each. So in Canada, the additional weight is not that much, not like in the States. So I don't mind if I have to pay a couple bucks for the overweight. But yeah, it was just 2 bundles out of everything, and it cost me $4, which whatever, I'm okay with that. I will definitely claim that on my taxes. So yeah, that's the bundle shipping is good. That's kind of what I did on New Year's Eve, and I'm okay. I got to move a bunch of stuff. I got to spread some good deals to other people, and I don't think that'll be a regular part of my business, just because I prefer to do like the live selling where you're talking to people and interacting and showing the items. I love to show items, but it was a fun way to sell some items on my couch in my pajamas. Like the first 2 shows, I was literally in my pajamas laying in bed. So I see why people do it that way. My only takeaway is actually, I'm going to chat a little bit more on this. My only takeaways is viewers were down. A lot of people were popping in and out. It wasn't what they were used to seeing. And I don't think you get the same amount of viewers when you do silent shows, but doesn't mean you can't sell items still. Okay, so next topic. Poshmark announced in Canada that they were offering a 50-cent discount on shipping. I don't know if they did this in the States. I meant to look it up, but I didn't. So in Canada, the shipping went from $13.49 up to £5 to $12.99. So it was a 50-cent discount. Basically, they just said that they partnered with Canada Post and they were able to offer this deal until January 1st. That was also one of the reasons why I did my silent show, because people were getting discount shipping. Now, here's the catch. And I was like, that's very nice of them to do this, right? They actually did the shipping discount for almost a week. But here's the catch. It only applied to people buying items for full price or sending you an offer. And basically they were already agreeing to pay the full shipping and they were getting a deal of 50 cents. Now, if you sent an offer to Like and you wanted to give someone $9.99 shipping, in your head, you think that they would deduct the 50 cent that they're giving to everyone else. But from my observations, they were not. So this kind of disappointed me about it. The discount only applied to the buyers. It did not apply to sellers. If you were sending out offers, that 50-cent discount was not applied to the shipping price. And I feel like that was a little bit of a fail on their end. I think if you're going to offer the 50-cent discount, you're offering it to everyone. You're offering it on every single sale. So I think it was a good initiative, but I think they just didn't quite hit the nail on the head with it. But yeah, I would love to know if you guys are in the States, did they do the same thing there? Did you guys get some sort of shipping discount? Was there any announcement? I have a feeling there wasn't because I didn't see anything on social media, but definitely would love to hear your thoughts on that. And like, I don't know, 50 cents is not very much. I will take whatever they give, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't really directly affect me. How about that? It wasn't a perk to me. It was just a perk to buyers. Another thing that I wanted to bring up that I've noticed a ton of are the crazy amount of messages I've been getting with a phone number in them asking for more pictures and asking for me to text them. I'm actually getting, like over Christmas, I was getting 1 to 3 comments a day. So basically what they do is they comment on a listing, they put their cell phone number and they say, can you text me more pictures? I never used to get these. Like, I think I've received maybe 2 or 3 out of these types of messages over the last like 2.5 years. I do not receive these often. So for me to be receiving these every single day, it has been weird. I have blocked them. I have reported them, and someone mentioned that they thought it was just one username that was doing it, but I have been receiving it from multiple different usernames. I did screenshot a Facebook group, or there was a screenshot in a Facebook group, and it was the same number as the ones that were in my listings, but they were different usernames. So it makes me think that it's one person creating multiple accounts, but using the same phone number for these. This is fraudulent. Do not text them. Do not message them. Do not send them any pictures. Your best interest is just to mark the comment as spam, delete it, move on. You can report it and then mark it as spam, but please do not engage with these. These are scammers. So I need to throw that out there. I feel like most of you guys know this, but if you were like, well, they're just asking for more pictures, do not message them. I don't know what happens when you message them, and if you know, drop it in the comments and let us know. But I just know that it's bad news. You should not be messaging them. On the topic of fraud on Posh, there was a person in the States copying images. This is something that happened a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to tell you guys. So this person was copying images and listings from other sellers and pretending to have the items. Now, this person was in the US, and someone actually reached out to me through Poshmark and was like, hey, I follow you on YouTube. I cannot remember your name, but thank you so much for reaching out to me. And they just said, just so you know, there's this person that is copying your listings, and we have reported them because they've been doing it to other people, but you may want to go to their closet and report the listings yourself. So of course I go to their closet and I couldn't believe it. There was like a bunch of items. And here's the funny thing. They weren't even all my best items. They were like a lot of my older items, or like, I don't know, to me, less desirable items. So I was kind of shocked at that, but definitely was like copying my images, copying my listings. So I did report them. I didn't actually follow up with it, but I think Poshmark emailed me to let me know that they were dealing with the issue. Yeah, so I've never had that happen. I've never had someone like copy my listings and try and sell my listings. Also, if you have anything to add on any of these topics or personal experiences, please share them with us, because I feel like the more that we share these, fraudulent interactions, the more we help and educate each other, because there may be people that are watching that don't realize that this is fraudulent or that this is happening, and they can kind of just, keep their eyes open. So yeah, I'd never experienced that, so I don't know what is going on or who this person is, but they were reported. All right, let's go on to the big topic. For me, this is the big topic. So I have an update on the Naver buyout. So Naver is acquiring Poshmark, and they are a Korean tech company. So on December 27th, Poshmark held a special meeting for stockholders to vote on the Naver acquisition. It appears Naver sped up the process from April, I think it was supposed to happen in April, to early January. So they held the meeting December 27th, and they wanted to start this process for early January. From what I can tell, it looks like it still won't be finalized until April, but I think it's just kind of getting all the ducks lined up and getting it moving. Now, there was a vote. It looks like majority voted to sell. I'm also going to put a link down below. This is the article I read. There's direct quotes from the special meeting. There's also some information about live shows and the inception and when they decided to do them, things like that. So there is some other interesting information. It appears the stock price is going to be sold at $17.90, less than half of what they initially sold their stock at. But it doesn't seem like the stock prices are really going much higher. It looks like people are voting, they're taking it, they're licking their wounds, and probably won't buy stock in Poshmark again. The link's down below. I have done some more reading and I've read various articles. I wish I would have saved the links for them. But it does look like Naver has bought up other online, what do they call them? C2C companies. So basically customer to customer selling. So there's B2B, which is business to business, and C2C, which is customer to customer. And that is what Poshmark is. It looks like they've actually bought up and invested into other C2C companies in various countries. And it has been a positive experience for those applications. Now, I'm sure there's much more to this than what I know or what I've read, but personally, I'm going to remain optimistic about this buyout. I think Naver has a lot that they can offer to the development of Poshmark, and I'm hoping they can fix the things that have gone wrong in the last year. We all know Poshmark today is a very different Poshmark than it was a year ago. And a lot of the changes started happening in spring. And prior to that, I felt like it was one of the best apps ever. And it just worked really well. Sales were very fluid. And then they started to make some changes with the algorithm, with the search feature, live shows came out. I think there's a lot of tech issues that maybe don't make the experience the best for buyers. And I'm hoping that Naver can sort those out. They have experience with this type of technology, and they're going to have some insights. They're going to have the infrastructure to change the app. I feel like Poshmark sometimes lacks on their ability to make app changes. Like, it takes forever. They make very incremental changes, like nothing big. And I don't know if they just lack the expertise or people working on it, or maybe just the money to develop it. I'm not really sure, but I hope Naver brings that to the app. I hope they're able to solve all the problems. I'm being stupidly optimistic, but that's about all we can do right now, is just hope that it improves, right? At the end of the day, I still enjoy selling on Poshmark. I used to hold it more like personally, like I love Poshmark. I was all about Poshmark love. Now it's literally just an app. Like, to me, it's like eBay, it's like Etsy. I list my items, I sell on them. That's it. I owe them nothing, they owe me nothing, and that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, I'm hoping that we see some positive changes. And if this acquisition is happening, between January and April, maybe we can see some good changes in the next bit. But I mean, we can't have our hopes up that things are going to go back to a year ago, because the whole market is a different place right now. So we're also dealing with that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just hope everything picks up and sales just kind of go, back to regular. All right, next topic. I've read this comment quite a bit, and I actually had to look into it and kind of get some definitions. So I've been hearing people say Poshmark is like an MLM. And I mean, we all know what MLMs are, but I didn't know what the actual definition is. So MLM stands for multi-level marketing. So basically what it is the compensation plan usually pays out to participants from two potential revenue streams. The first is based on a sales commission from directly selling product or service. So I'm going to take like Monat or whatever, right? So you're selling a product, you're getting commission for selling their hair products. But the second is also a paid-out commission based on the wholesale purchases made by the sellers who participate in your recruitment. So basically, you recruit people, and what they sell, you also get a percentage of it. Now, if we look at Poshmark in this view, I don't think it actually is an MLM. We aren't selling Poshmark products, and when people sign up, I don't receive a portion of their sales, which I would love to. I'd love to receive 1% of everyone that signs up under me of their sales, but I don't. I just get that, $10 or $15 credit when they initially sign up and make a purchase. I think the reasons people feel this way is the hoorah. I'm going to use that word. I actually put that word in here. The hoorah that they create around Poshmark. It's almost cult-like, right? Like, it is Posh love, it is hashtag it is use it, we're all about it, we're here, we want this community, and they create this culture. And to a lot of people, this culture seems MLM because not many other apps are creating this culture, this cult-like culture. I will admit, I used to drink the Kool-Aid. I used to drink the Poshmark Kool-Aid, and like I said, now it's just an app that I sell on. I make good money on it. It's very easy to use, but I don't have like an emotional attachment to them. I consider myself just to be a normal seller on there. Now, I have no problem promoting a platform, but I also want to receive payment for it. So if Poshmark had some sort of influencer program, and the funny thing is they actually do have an influencer program, but they want to work with influencers selling the app for shoppers. We do have influencers in the reseller side, but they don't really pay us, right? So I would love to know what they're paying Instagram influencers, because I don't think they're offering the same thing to the resellers that they, reuse their content or ask. And yeah, anyways, Posh has a marketing team. It's their job to market Posh, not mine. It's my job to sell my items. And I try and think of it this way. You should market your items on your socials, but not as Poshmark, right? Like, you can market your items on your socials and tag your closet or tag the listing so it takes your followers directly to it. But I don't know if marketing Poshmark as a whole on Instagram has a huge benefit to you, because if you're just marketing Poshmark to all of your followers, there's a really good chance that they're going to be shopping from other people. So just my own tip, if you're going to market for Poshmark, market for just your closet. Don't do it for the app as a whole. And you're just going to try and sell your specific items. I don't feel clear as to why people think Posh is an MLM, besides maybe the culture, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this. This is meant in an open discussion way. There's no tearing each other down. There's no I just think this is a really good discussion topic. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Poshmark as an MLM now that you know the definition and what an MLM is? I personally don't think it falls into the same category. I think they're just really good at creating hype around their app. Okay, next up, we have the US Inform Law. This is new to me just more because it's US based, but I did see some people posting about it on Instagram. So I thought it'd be worth bringing up here. And it's also going to carry us into the new IRS statement that was made. So I'm at the eBay website. If you want to search this up, I'll also include the link down below. Basically, there's a new Inform laws coming out, and so here's the blurb. Your trust in eBay is at the heart of everything we do, and it's no different with the new US Inform law. These laws continue to be adopted throughout the US, and we're committed to keeping you informed about possible impacts to your business. So here's what you need to know. The US Inform law aims to create a safe and transparent online buying process and require marketplaces like eBay to collect, verify, and disclose certain high-volume seller information. So a high-volume seller is someone who has sold 200 or more new items totaling more than $5,000 in a 12-month consecutive period over the last 24 months in the US site. If you meet this criteria, we'll need to collect and verify some identification and contact information. If you reach an annual total revenue of $20,000, we're required to include your name or company name and a full physical address in purchase confirmation emails and order details, and there are some exceptions. High volume sellers will need to keep their information up to date and will ask you to review this annually. The US and foreign laws are designed to create a safe and transparent online buying process. Who does this impact? It's going to impact sellers, again, who have sold 200 or more items totaling more than 5,000 in a 12-month consecutive period. The information that they're going to be asking for is bank account number, tax identification number, phone number, and email address. If you're a business seller, we'll also need to collect and verify a copy of your government issued ID. There are some exceptions and some more points into it. So like I said, I'm going to include the link down below. But yeah, they are going to be collecting this information. So it is important to know that your information at any point can be shared from these apps to your government agency, right? So it's important that you are reporting your sales, doing your taxes for your business, because you do not want to get caught in back taxes, okay? I just need to put this out there. If you are making money, you should be claiming it. This is just them doing their due diligence now. Where before, I think it was more left up to the person themselves to make the claim, but it does look like for US law, they are now requiring them to report this. So while we're on this topic, I also heard that the IRS is deferring for 1 year that e-commerce sites have to report a 1099 on income of $600 or more. So this does not mean that you don't have to claim the income. You make sure to contact your chartered accountant or your CPA and save all receipts and report all incomes. I think it's just that they weren't able to vote on it and get the law passed that it was going to be a requirement. They were kind of doing the back work and getting, eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, all these platforms to submit the reports, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to follow through with it for 2023. This does not mean that you don't have to report your income. Okay, I need to state this. You are still required to report your income and claim your taxes. It just means that they will not be requiring the form from these sites. So do not mix those two up. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. And I think there's something similar kind of happening in Canada right now, where it just changed in July 2022 that online platforms will now be collecting and remitting GST and PST tax for us. That was a big change as well. But I think for us to remit business GST, you have to sell $30,000 worth of goods, and this is a gross number in a 4 quarters. So it's always rolling over. It's not just per year. But yeah, anyways, I highly recommend you talk to an accountant about this information. This is just things that I've read and seen and kind of putting the bug in your ear to talk with your accountant about. Okay, so we got some comments and questions from viewers. There was a comment on a previous video that a seller noticed I don't put brands in the style tags. And she asked if there was a reason why. So that is very true. I do not put brands in style tags. I think because you have the brand selected on Posh, and then you also have it in your title, you probably have it in the beginning of your description. I don't see the need to put it into the style tag. I try and use style tags for trendy keywords, aesthetics, and other applicable words to just describe an item. So not necessarily the brand, but more descriptive words. If you need help with this, I did do a video. I put it out last Friday. I'm going to pop it up here, and it's how to find keywords for resellers. And basically, I have 4 ways that I find keywords, and I find them really helpful and useful. I recommend you watch that video. I also talk about where I put the words and how to use them. So yeah, I think that would be informative. I do not put brand names into the style tags on Poshmark. Another question I commonly hear is about selling on Etsy, and people ask, like, can you sell anything on Etsy? So even though you'll probably see people literally selling everything and anything on Etsy, Etsy is an online market for vintage and handmade items. So I like to sell handmade items that I thrift and vintage pieces that I find. Vintage is any item over 20 years old according to Etsy. So that would mean that the item was made before 2003. But that's the policy. You cannot just sell everything and anything on Etsy. It is made for only vintage and handmade items. Now, what you choose to do and sell, that's your prerogative, but I do not. I just put my vintage pieces on there, or like thrifted handmade items. Also, I want to do a quick reminder about shipping, because shipping has been crazy. I've been getting a ton of emails this week from Poshmark letting me know that items are taking longer than normal. And I think it's important that you are checking on your items, seeing where they are, where they're being processed, and following up with these items. We can expect longer shipping times. We know that there's a ton of holidays between last week and this week. There's 3 days, I think, where the post office is not running, and I don't think they're working or processing items. So yeah, just make sure you're following up with those, and definitely sending any messages to Poshmark on items if they aren't being delivered. I have had issues in the past where 1 or 2 packages over Christmas were lost in the Christmas hustle and bustle at the post office, and Poshmark's usually pretty good about that. So just make sure you're following up with your parcels and the ones that are kind of sitting in that tracking mode. All right. Oh my gosh, I feel like we've covered a lot of things today. I feel like there's so many new subscribers recently, and I don't know everyone. And I feel like we also have a group of like older subscribers that have been with me since the beginning. And I thought, how fun would it be for us to comment, put out our name, what is our business, what platforms do we sell on, how long have you been a reseller, any fun facts you want to put out there, but kind of like an introduction post for yourself. And it's also a way for me to get to know you, find out which platforms everyone's selling on. And yeah, I thought it would be something fun. I encourage you all to follow other people, check out if you want to drop your closets, your eBay stores, whatever you want in the comments. I am good with that. And I encourage you guys to like, follow, comment other people's introduction posts. So I'm going to start. I am a Canadian reseller. I've been selling since 2020. So June 2020 was when I started selling. I've been selling for about 2.5 years. I sell on eBay, Etsy, and Poshmark. I do a little bit on Facebook Marketplace, and I actually recently just started listing some items to Depop again. I've had a couple people message me some really good sales. Wendy, you are one of them. And I was like, hey, maybe I need to toss some of the vintage items onto Depop again and give it a chance. I used to sell on Depop when I first started, and then I switched over to Poshmark just because it was so much easier with the shipping part. But I think there is some money to be had in Depop for cool vintage pieces. So kind of expanding to that. For what I sell, it's usually women's modern, current, quirky, or vintage pieces. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't sell a lot of mall brand type stuff like H&M, American Eagle. I do like to stick with certain brands for sure. My best-selling brands are like Aritzia, Lululemon, and I think Vintage those were my top 3. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I love reselling, and I love getting to know new people that are also in the reselling world. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Drop down below, let me know. And this is going to be like our little mini networking post. All right, well, 2023, welcome. We are here. This is going to be a good year. I have a feeling it's going to take some work. I don't think reselling is going to be easy this year, but I think if you put in the effort, you do the research, you source smart, there's going to be some money to be had. Okay, I am out of here. This is Work With Me number 1 for 2023. I am wishing you guys all many sales, and thank you for watching. Bye!